So studies show, as I said, that if you do training alone, you can expect a 22% increase in your results. Now, if you add coaching and implementation support, ongoing coaching and implementation support to the training, you can expect 4 times that.
Welcome to the Master Dealmaker's Secrets podcast. And now, here's sales growth strategist, John Blake.
Welcome to Master Dealmaker Secrets. I'm John Blake. This is episode 209, and today we're going to talk about the 2 different types of businesses that invest in sales training. But before we do that, if you have got leads that you've spoken to that haven't converted, and you want a way that you can follow those leads up in a way that's proactive, that's professional, that's not going to annoy anyone, I want you to head over to John Blake Audio, and what you'll get there is a 15-minute training that I've put together, audio training. What you'll also get is a PDF that has and shows you exactly how you can convert double the amount of people that you've spoken to that didn't convert straight away. So these are people that are sitting in that proposal sent column of your CRM. And what you'll get is exactly when to call, exactly what to say when you get them on the phone, exactly what to send them in an email, and exactly when to email them and when to call them over a 90-day period. The best thing about this is that you don't have to do it. You can easily teach it to somebody else after they listen to the audio and read the PDF, which you will find at johnblakeaudio.com. Go grab it. It works. I have developed this myself over 35 years, and I'm sure it'll work for you. I've implemented it in every single business that I have worked with over the last 21 years, as well as in my own businesses before that, and I know that it works. It is at johnblakeaudio.com. Go grab it, download the 15-minute audio and the PDF with the exact word-for-word scripts on exactly what to write, when to write, and how often to write and call. Okay, so what we're going to talk about today are the 2 different types of businesses that invest in sales training and the 3 strategies that you can implement. In fact, I think there might even be more than 3 after you invest in sales training to make sure that your investment continues to pay dividends, right? So everyone talks about the importance of sales training. Almost no one talks about how to maximize that investment so that it continues to pay dividends long after the actual training is finished. So in my experience, there are 2 different types of businesses. I get calls from 2 different types of businesses. The first one is they will call me and they will say, I want to do sales training with my team, right? I want to do sales training with my team. And that in and of itself is a great idea. And doing something is absolutely better than doing nothing. And so I applaud anyone who wants to invest in their team, invest in the skills. It's great for culture, and absolutely it will deliver a result. I will tell you exactly what type of result you can expect in a minute. But before we do that, it's important to understand the motivation behind it. So scenario 1 is a business that has decided that they want to invest in sales training, but when you dig a little bit deeper, you say, so is this an event? Do you classify sales training as an event or a particular task, or do you identify it as a process? Because there are 2 different schools of thought on this. And so for company A, they are, for all intents and purposes, doing this as a box ticking exercise. So it might be someone who has not necessarily got that much to do with sales. Otherwise, they would probably be suggesting that other things go with the training. But in most cases, it's someone who's been tasked to organize training, and it'll be a box ticking exercise. It's something that they just want to make sure that they do because they have been asked to do it. And it's like, okay, well, we need to do sales training with our team. So, okay, what do I do? I get 3 quotes. I get somebody to come in. They do a 1-day workshop. And then that things done. I can cross that off my to-do list and I can move on to the next thing. Now, in that scenario, what we know from the research is that you can expect an increase. You can expect an increase. And what you will get is an increase in performance, an increase in enthusiasm, an increase in activity. But without anything else, it will probably drop back to probably marginally above the trajectory that was in place before you actually put the training in place. Okay, so a little bit of growth is better than no growth. A little bit, extra enthusiasm, extra activity, and extra sales are great, but that's what you can expect. So it's about up to about a 22% short-term increase in your results as a result of putting sales training in place for your team. Then there is the other type business. So they invest in sales training and put strategies in place to make sure that the training sticks and that they are maximizing their investment in that training. So they are the smarter type businesses. So studies show, as I said, that if you do training alone, you can expect a 22% increase in your results. Now, if you add coaching and implementation support, ongoing coaching and implementation support to the training, you can expect 4 times that. So the expectation in terms of results goes up to 88% as opposed to 22%, which stands to reason, right? Because you're going to learn something, you're going to put it into practice, but unless someone actually comes back and revisits that with you and says, oh, okay, how did you go? Did you get, what did you do? What did you implement? What was the result? Unless someone holds you accountable and says, how did that go? What did you do? Did you do it exactly as we talked about? What was the response? Oh, okay. Well, did you do this bit? No, I didn't do that bit. Okay. Well, next time, do that bit. Next person you speak to, make sure you ask them this question and then come back. Oh, yeah, I did ask that question. Oh, it works so much better. I got the best, I got such a great response. I got such a great result. That's the difference, right? So training alone, 22% max. Training, coaching, ongoing, 4 times that, 88%. So the first strategy, as you could probably guess, is ongoing coaching or ongoing accountability. The other thing that is probably almost as good as that is if the sales manager attends the training and makes sure that he revisits what's actually been covered off on in the training on a regular basis, leading on from the training or the workshop or the event or whatever it was. The second strategy is audit the process. So some businesses will just put their team through a generic training program. Other businesses, like the ones that I work with, will actually invest in a process that it has actually been tailored and customized and developed strategically for that particular business, that particular product, selling to that particular target in that particular industry. So it's a customized program that reflects exactly who you're selling to, exactly your product, and it's not generic. It's customized to your particular business. So if you've gone ahead and done that, if you've changed your process and put a customized sales process in place, well, if you've invested in that, one of the most important things to do is audit that process. Because what I can tell you, what my experience has shown, is that unless you actually revisit that on a regular basis, and unless you have a way of testing to make sure that your salespeople are actually doing what it is that they've been taught to do, doing what you have identified as best practice that everyone agrees is best practice, even though they know it's the best way to do it, they will inevitably slip back into what they were doing before. Probably not entirely, but they will certainly slip back into old habits if you don't audit the process and make sure that they're doing it. So how do you audit the process? Well, you can listen to call recordings. That is the most powerful. You probably heard me talk about that before. That is the most powerful way to make sure that your team are actually doing what it is that they need to be doing, because you can hear it, you can press pause, you can give them coaching. The other way is to sit in on the process. That's Not ideal, because sometimes it can change the dynamic. If you've got a salesperson that's dealing with a customer and they've got you sitting there watching, that can be intimidating, and it can kind of change the dynamic, and it can be counterproductive to what it is that you're trying to do, which is to maintain performance and maintain results. So my go-to is recording the call, and someone could do that by, they could record it on their phone, but if they're doing phone sales, or if they're presenting via Zoom, it's a pretty easy thing to record the call. The third thing is including some kind of regular sales meeting. So audit the process by all means. One-on-one coaching with each individual person, so you can make sure that they're actually doing it. And then the other one is to have a regular group meeting. Now, these things shouldn't take up massive amounts of time, because if you take up massive amounts of time in sales meetings, you're actually starting to become counterproductive to the outcome that you're looking to create, which is to have your salespeople client-facing, talking to clients, following up clients, and presenting to clients as much as is humanly possible during working hours. And if you're bagging them up for hours and hours on end in one-on-ones and sales meetings, it becomes counterproductive. So you want to have regular but punchy, so quick, sales meetings. And in these things, the best thing you can do is to share best practice. So have good performers sharing what they're doing that's working, and wins, celebrating progress and success, holding people accountable to regular activity, and support for hitting numbers. So if you've got a cadence in place, so you should probably, at least be having a sales meeting every other week, if not every week. And if you've got one-on-ones, and the one-on-ones can be structured around performance. So ideally, if someone's really smashing their targets, you probably don't need to meet with them as regularly. If someone's not smashing their targets, or they're new and you're ramping them up to a point where they are hitting their targets, you're probably going to need to spend a disproportionate amount of time with them. So all those type decisions can be made depending on what's happening in business, how many people you've got in your team. But those are my three things for maximizing your investment in sales training. So the first one is making sure that you have got ongoing coaching and implementation support leading on from the training, to make sure that they've got support to actually implement the new skills and get coaching on the implementation of the new skills. Second one, audit the process, make sure that they're actually doing what it is that's being taught, that you've invested in. And the third one is including some kind of regular sales meeting where you share best practice, celebrate progress and success, and hold people accountable. I hope that helps. As always, thank you so much for listening, and I will chat to you on the next podcast. Cheers.
You've been listening to Master Dealmaker Secrets with John Blake. Subscribe to get more in-depth strategies and maximize your sales process with new episodes every other week. And double your inquiry to sale conversion with the lead flow you already have. Go to johnblakeaudio.com for his exclusive, free, no-fluff audio training and companion PDF guide.